What is going on, internet? Eric Bandholz here, back again with another Beardbrand Alliance. Hope all is going well on the other side of the internet. I want to talk about change. And what happens if people don't want you to change? How do you deal with that? Let's talk about it. All right, if you guys have been following the Beardbrand barbering channel, you may have noticed over the past couple of months that we have changed our content. We've gone from essentially one haircut per video to 3 haircuts per video. And the reason I did this was several reasons. One, I wanted to show off the true diversity of the haircuts that we get. I wanted to show off multiple barbers in one episode. I feel like viewers would get into watching certain talent and they wouldn't realize, hey, there's this other barber who has great style, great clients, or hey, we do actually show a variety of different haircuts, but the reason you don't see them is because the YouTube algorithm only recommends a certain type of cut. So those are 2 big reasons. The other third big reason is I really wanted people to develop an affinity for the barbershop in the Beardbrand barbershop rather than the affinity for the haircuts and the transformation. I wanted there to be a real connection. I feel like if you look at content on YouTube for barbering or haircut, like our channel or many of the other channels out there, it serves a similar purpose. And I just wanted to build something that was different. We've created the single haircut videos for years, and I'm very proud of that work, but I just felt like it was time, one, creatively to try to flex our muscles and see if we could create interesting new content. And 2, move forward. It's been 10 years creating content on YouTube, and it's time for change. Change is good. Now, of course, I do this change knowing that it is going to make an impact on our viewers. Some viewers are going to be okay with it, and some are not going to be okay with it. And I know that going in is kind of part of the process of preparing myself for the new change, the new style. I think is tip number 1 is like you have to recognize that you're not going to appease everyone. Now, I started looking into the data to verify that we weren't on track. So if the data was showing me that essentially we were performing at the same level or better, it was a good sign. But if we saw a huge dramatic drop in our performance, then maybe that change was not the right mark. So I think going into change is setting expectations for what success looks like, what failure looks like, and how much pain are you willing to persevere to eventually reach the success you want. But if I was just looking at data, that would be the easy thing. I think the hard part is when real fans and real customers and real viewers, audience members, they comment that they don't like it, that they think the old version was the better version, that the new direction is the bad version. And I think that is where the real challenge comes in with change. It's when you maybe are on the fence, maybe the data is like one way or the other, and you know there's a little bit of comfort in saying, well, I tried it, I'm just going to go back to the way it was, and because I know that's what my audience is familiar with, and I'm getting people who are complaining. That's really what I want to talk about in this video, is really fighting that desire to want to fall back into your comfort level and not change when there's a real opportunity through growth. See, growth is never linear. It's never easy. There is always suffering in growth. And I feel like, while it's just a couple of commenters on YouTube, that is something that really drives me. Obviously I create because I want to enjoy the things that we're creating, but I also want to make content that people value and makes their lives happier. So there is this balance that I'm always battling, but at the same time, I'm not going to appease everybody. So when you're facing change, what I want you to do is really, before you get into it, you need to have a strategy, a vision, a direction in your mind that you're almost going to foresee what's going to happen. You're going to foresee that there's going to be people unhappy. You're going to foresee that maybe the performance is going to dip as you transition your audience from an old style to a new style. And you have to recognize that this period of change involves that suffering. And I feel like there's a couple of school of thoughts, Buddhism, Stoicism, that kind of address this. And it's accepting, in Buddhism, you kind of accept suffering, recognizing that that's just part of humanity, and then you kind of are able to overcome that anxiety that comes with it. And stoicism is almost kind of like viewing through all the possibilities of what could happen, and then when they do happen, you're prepared for it. So it's a little bit more of a preparation for that suffering and how you're going to face it. Now, I know a lot of you guys have faced change as you grew out your beard for the first time, and you got the critics who are trying to hold you back, trying to hold you to your old self when you didn't have a beard. And, you know, I'm sure there's guys out there who had a very supportive community who would love you no matter what. I'm sure there's some who actually had a bunch of bearded friends who encourage you to grow the beard, but I'm sure there's a bunch of you guys out there too who lived in a world where people felt more comfortable with you having a shaved face. And if you never were prepared for that suffering, the easy thing to do is to shave your beard and go back to the way you've looked for many years before. And it's not just beard growing, it's dieting or eating new foods. You know, that minute that you feel a little tired or you feel a little frustrated that you couldn't get whole vegetables in your diet, and then you go to McDonald's and you just feel like there's always something that's kind of pulling you back to your norm. And change is this transition period where you have to suffer. Now, I feel fortunate because to a certain degree, I enjoy change. I enjoy seeing different things. As you can tell, I'm not in Austin, Texas. I'm in Denmark, and a different environment, and the uncomfort of being in a different environment of like literally, I don't know how many of you guys have created a video where you're out in public. It's very uncomfortable. Like, I feel like people are just looking at me as I create this. It's not a comforting thing, but it is something that I'm driven to do because I don't know. I feel like life is just too short to always be comfortable. I think part of it is just the extreme joy that I feel whenever I do experience something, whenever I do go out of my comfort zone, and then I realize everything's okay, or I realize that I've leveled up in life. The shoulder as a tripod is probably the hardest thing about doing this video, just sticking my arm out. So one thing I'd like to do is to thank you guys for embracing the change that we've done. You know, we've had a lot of change over the years. We split off the Beardbrand channel into 2 channels. We tried shorts. We moved shorts to a new channel, Beardbrand Shorts. If you like shorts, make sure you subscribe to that. We've rolled out new products. We've canceled products. As you guys know, this year we've canceled fragrances. And the big thing is in September, October, and November of this year, we're going to be relaunching all of our new products and new packaging that I'll be talking a little bit more, or I've already talked about in the Alliance. So if you're a member of the private Alliance forums, be sure to go in there and you can check all the details. You can see maybe sneak peeks of the direction that we're going for the packaging and how it's all different and what we're trying to apply. So I want to thank you guys for being cool with change, and then also being cool with sharing your feedback, because during that period of change, there is going to be that level of uncertainty of knowing whether or not you're moving in the right direction. And it is that feedback that does help shape if you're moving in the right direction or not. So I hope all is well on the other side of the internet, and thanks for watching. Cheers. Keep on growing. Whoever knew sweat could smell so good? I did, because I've been using Beardbrand's new deodorant. Grab it at beardbrand.com.